Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Uncorked Conversations with Sunny, where we have real, raw, and transparent conversations. Today's episode is sponsored by Calendar's Lounge and Event Space. So happy to be filming here today. If you're ever in Houston, book you an event, check out the lounge. They'll be opening really soon, and it's owned by a Black woman, if I must say so myself. It's Women's Month, so we are celebrating women in all the things that we do. So what better place to be kicking it here with y'all? Woo! So much to catch y'all up on. But before we hop into the episode, I gotta say thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our community partners, and all of our subscribers. Y'all really been pulling up to YouTube, like what's going on, where you at, and what you talking about. And we couldn't be here without y'all. When we started this back in October, we just knew there was a vision. We didn't know the plan. We didn't know the how. We just knew that it had to be done. So to have all 2,000 of y'all on YouTube, it's a blessing. Some people may see it as such a small accomplishment. It's huge for us, especially because we ain't even really got started yet. We haven't even really got started yet. And sometimes we start things and we let the details distract us. Sometimes we let the how get in the way of, what it is that we're assigned to do. And no matter the challenges or whatever we have faced, y'all, this thing just keep on rolling. It keep on rolling to the point to where every time I feel like we can pause and celebrate an accomplishment, we already are surpassing that. And it's like, okay, well, we need to gear up to celebrate what's coming next. And that's how I just know that it's so important that you just trust the process, that you just trust God, and that you stop thinking so small. Because do I think you should celebrate the small wins? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing more important than just being able to acknowledge the progress of your process and the grace that you get throughout that time. But sometimes we put so much effort into celebrating something that's small because we don't even truly believe or 100% believe just how God about to blow our mind. And that's why that whole, you gotta stop thinking small. I ain't gonna say that word, but you gotta stop thinking small. It's so real because you have no idea how God wanna bless your game. You have no idea how big the program really is. That's why you can't try to be bigger than the program, because if you had any idea how big the program is God really got planned for you, your mind will be blown. Let me tell you this, because I'll be in my journal, right? A best friend of mine sent a picture of myself a couple days ago. And she said she was doing an online search for herself, looking into some things. Mind you, best friend for over 20 years. We graduated together. We went to the military together. Yes, I drug her with me. I have to tell you about that later. Good thing we still friends. She don't resent me for that, but definitely drug her to the military with me. So she's doing this online search and she sends me a picture of my 17-year-old self. And she was like, I was looking for top students in the district at this time. Your name popped up, all your accolades, just a reminder to you that you've always been her. I had so many emotions going on because sometimes we get so caught up in what's next or what haven't I done, to where we don't stop and acknowledge the small things, y'all. And when we looking back at our past, we may look back at past memories, or we may refer back to past instances or life challenges that kind of was a marker for us at a certain time in our life. But when the last time we actually went and looked back at a 10-year-old picture of ourselves, or looked at ourselves 15 years ago? I looked at that picture, and to know all that I have gotten through, gotten over, gotten done, accomplished, I looked at that picture and instantly was in tears and just so grateful, because for her to have one completely different perspective of what she saw in that picture, even as best friends, she had no idea what I was going through at that time during that picture. Sometimes people can highlight moments for us in a different way that we don't allow ourselves to see, because we always mark moments and times in our life with the challenges and with the triumphs and the things that happen to us, without always being able to see what was happening for us. In that picture, that girl was broken. When I tell you, one, she was skinny. Like, she was so skinny. My head was so big, y'all. I'm going to show y'all the picture. We're going to insert it, but don't laugh. Don't laugh at that. But she was so broken, and you could see it in her eyes. I have no idea what it even took me to get out of bed that morning. I have no idea if that was one of those days that I was maybe hoping I didn't wake up. But someone on the outside looked at that picture, saw all of the accomplishments, saw me with all of the awards around my neck, saw me receiving all these different, accolades, and was able to be inspired by it. Whole time, your girl was fighting for her life, okay? She was fighting for her life, literally, not just figuratively, like in real life, like booted and suited. What's going on? And saying that to say, like, it's okay to pause and to take a moment to look back at your younger self, not just reflect back on the memories, not just go back to that moment in time. It is so important to go back and look at those pictures and remind yourself of how much you've overcome. To remind your younger self, like, I did it for us. I did it for you. And sometimes it'll bring you back to that very moment when you look at certain pictures and memories, and now you get to replace that moment with a now moment. You get to replace that with like a feel good, a moment of gratitude. So just make sure like you taking your time to just reflect back at those moments and look at your younger self, because I bet you owe her so much. I bet you do. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I owed her as soon as we come back from commercial break. You are tuned into Uncorked Conversations with Sunny, and as I was saying, y'all, looking back at your younger self is so important. And when I looked at that picture of me, first of all, I was like, girl, where you get this big old head from? That was number one. But just seeing the whole idea of you evolving, growing into yourself, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of these different things that I had all of these feelings, but I had to literally sit there and stare at that picture, like me versus me, and tell myself, like, girl, you did it. You did it. You're doing it. Like, I want you to find a picture of your younger self 10 years ago. Any picture. I want you to go back to that very moment and try to remember what he or she was feeling, what he or she was experiencing. And I want you to talk life into yourself. I want you to not focus on what you haven't got done, because if you reflect back on what you may have been experiencing at that time up until now, there's probably an endless list of things that you didn't think you would do that you're doing or that you've done. And there's so many societal pressures and projections that we are pressured with every day that's constantly telling you you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You need to go do this, achieve that. And when you do achieve it, oh, that's still not enough. You need to go do more and more and more and more. I want you to give yourself a break. Not a break in the sense of you stop or you quit or you pause, but a break to where you could really sit there and let yourself be reminded of the grace that has kept you and carried you. Your younger self did the best that he or she could. The best. You gave yourself grace. Like, if you were in survival mode at that time, like I was, and you have now transitioned from survival mode, that weight being lifted off your shoulders, like, you should feel it. I want you to take a deep breath when you look at that picture, simply because everything you thought you wasn't going to make it through or survive it through, baby, listen, okay? Swing my hair a little bit because y'all see my makeup or whatever. By Haley. But I was able to look at that picture and was in tears because the suicide thoughts, thank God they didn't work. Every attempt on my life, thank God that it came, to pass over me. Everything I thought I couldn't accomplish because I thought that I was lacking. I thought I didn't have enough. I thought that I wouldn't be enough. Don't you dare allow yourself to keep carrying around those doubts. If you look back at those pictures and just recall everything that you've gotten through, mind blowing, y'all. I was so emotional, in such an emotional state, but a good feeling. It was just a reminder to me, like, God really be keeping us. How dare we sit around here and tell ourselves we not enough, we lack, or we allow certain life changing moments to deprive us of everything else that He's carried us through. So this is what I want you to do. Find that picture. Find a picture. It don't matter if you was cute. We all had big heads back then. Fashion was all out of whack. Find a picture from maybe 10 years ago. Allow yourself to travel back to that moment or that time in your life. And I want you to journal. Yeah, cliche, but I want you to journal, especially if you've been keeping up with the My Journal to You channel on our YouTube. That's why you gotta subscribe, because you gotta stay in tune with the My Journal to You. I want you to journal about it. I want you to write down some things that you recall that was happening at that time. And if you have come to pass those things, I just want you to scratch it out. By the time you've gotten to the end of that list, if you have been able to scratch out more than half of things on that list that you've either gotten through, gotten over, or getting through, I want you to sit with that. I don't care if it's the smallest thing. I want you to sit with it. We talked about it before, how you've been it. You've already been the person that God was designing and equipping you to be. He was just waiting on you to accept it. He was waiting on you to walk in it, because the same God He was back then, He's still Him. Really, in my life, He's really bigger than that, because I've allowed Him to take up way more space in my life that He was taking up back then. It's gotten me to the point, because it made me realize that there's a surrender glow that we don't talk about, y'all. There's a surrender glow. We always talk about, baby, it's a glow up, and I left this man and I glued, I had a glow up. Look at me about to say glued up. That's not a word, but y'all know what I mean. I got out of this relationship with this woman. I had a glow up. I got a new job. I had a glow up. That's cool. Love it. Been there, experienced it. But that surrender glow, that glow to where I'm not carrying more than I'm supposed to carry. I'm not controlling more than I can control. I'm going to do all that I can. And from there, God, you got it. I'm passing the torches on you. I'm not letting fear, doubt, the mindset of lack get in the way. That glow is different. People could see it. People could feel it. Your energy will be exuding from across the room. And you will be wondering, why are all these things and these people clinging to me like magnets? There's an attraction that surrender has on your entire spirit, your entire being, that you can't fake. You can't buy it. I used to be able to say if you could buy it, it probably would be at Target, but y'all know we ain't really doing it. Stay focused. Stay focused. But we standing strong on that. But there's an attraction to you that you have of all the things that God promised to you, that all the things that He made it very clear, like asking you will receive, that will start coming out of nowhere. I can't tell y'all how many moments I've had like that as of lately, to where the moment I allow myself to start thinking how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who is going to be the messenger or that piece, before I even get too deep into it, I'm pausing, I'm telling myself, is that within your pay grade? That's number one. Because why are you trying to do a job that you're not even qualified to do? That's a God thing. I'm going to need you to pass the reins right on back to Him. And it has allowed me to reset. We're human. And the biggest thing I pride myself on and encourage people to do around me, allow yourself to be just that, be human. When you having those human moments, invite God back into that moment. Hey, this a you thing? Because if it's a you thing, let me give that back to you. If it's a me thing, make it real plain for me before I get in my head, get the overthinking, get overstimulated. Now I'm out here trying to build a house, and that's not even what you told me to do. Give it back to Him. Give it back to Him. If it's doubt, give it back to Him. If it's fear, give it back to Him. Go back to that picture, and every time you find yourself experiencing those moments of doubt or fear or getting into a mindset of lack, go back to that picture. I bet you could recall a time where you didn't think you was going to have enough. You didn't think you was going to make it. You didn't think you was going to overcome it. 50 thoughts should pop up in your head as to how those things came to pass, and it was not in your pay grade. You did not make it happen. If you did make it happen, you either surrendered or you was forced to, because God know me, sometimes he got to pull out that slipper and get me together, because my challenges have been going from surviving to thriving is controlling what I can't control. Since I have surrendered to that, y'all, I sleep peacefully. Even when things are going differently than what I envision them going. When I have allowed myself to release the expectations and fully embrace the experience, God just be making it happen. Because when you see those different, and we see it online all the time, your plan versus God's plan, listen, my plan be so perfectly laid out, like there is not a detour, there's not a red light, there's not a caution sign. We going straight through, baby. We not stopping. We not getting gas. We not even oiling up the car. We not getting it. We just going straight there. God plan, when I tell you the blueprint is in 4D and it's 25 pages long, but guess what? You still end up arriving to the destination. And most times unharmed. My plan, we got all kind of scratches. We got all kind of wounds, all kind of things, and then we still end up showing up late to the destination, hoping we didn't miss the time of arrival. Go back to that younger picture. Even if it's just to cry yourself into a laugh, go back to it. And when you look back at that picture, take a deep breath and just remind yourself that glow up is different when you surrender. Give yourself that pass. When you go into a bookstore, I'm a bookstore girl. Love a good quiet morning at the bookstore. There's all these sections on parenting and money and all these different things. There is not necessarily a section that tells you how to navigate being human. Not scientifically, not in a physical form, not when it comes to the anatomy aspect of the body, but to navigate being human before you add the layers and the titles and the hats that so many of us wear. Give yourself grace, because every day that you allow yourself to be human, you are doing the unimaginable. You are doing the unthinkable. You are doing the one thing that there is not a book, a blueprint, a pamphlet, a manual, a course, or a degree on how to do it. You owe yourself that grace. You owe it to yourself to surrender, because then you will stop carrying stuff that's too heavy for you. Look at your shoulders. Yes, you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Give yourself that grace. Surrender. Watch yourself glow up. Allow yourself to become everything that God told you that you could become, because you're going to cheat yourself out of an experience because you out here with these expectations. And if you're not setting those same standard of expectations of yourself every day, stop having those expectations of the world. Show up the way that you expect the world to show up for you, so that way when you go into that surrender glow, you can attract that. You can reciprocate that. But if you expecting what you're not putting out, we got a lot of work to do. And we're going to need way more wine. Because y'all know if we're going to talk about it, I'm going to have to pour me a glass. But give yourself that. You deserve that. You owe that to yourself. And it's a part of the process. Do not sit around here beating yourself up trying to beat this whole time frame of dying and miss the opportunity to live. Okay? I need you to go out there and live, because that's what it's all about. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you could be a part of our Uncorked Conversations family. We have so many new announcements that's coming up, so many things to share, so many things to celebrate. And as I mentioned, we are going to pause and celebrate those small wins, those small accomplishments, because they big over here. They small to y'all, but I want you to make it your duty to make everything a big deal when it comes to the process. So it's a big deal over here at Uncorked Conversations because just a few months ago, it was just a conversation of me calling the production team. Hey y'all, I got this idea. We got to do this. And here we are with all 2,000 of y'all. And we love y'all and we appreciate y'all and we couldn't do it without y'all. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it with somebody. Join our Facebook family, Uncorked Conversations. Follow us on our Instagram, Uncorked Conversations, the pod. And who knows, be on the lookout for maybe some merch. We'll talk about it. Thank y'all for tuning in to Uncorked Conversations with your girl, Sunny. And it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so have you some wine while you at it. I'm out.